Hello there trainers, welcome back to another seldom seen and seldom uploaded guide video. Today we get intimate with a Pokemon much sought after for reasons other than battling. It is of course Ditto, and when you take a quick look at it you realize that there isn't much to be said for this Pokemon for stats and abilities. It has one clearly superior ability in Imposter, it has no moves of its own, and EV and IV investment doesn't really matter because of how Ditto works. So how do we actually use Ditto in a battle? Well, it's plain and simple really. When Ditto is swapped in, if it has Imposter, of course, it will immediately copy the stats of the opposing Pokemon. Note that this will copy any modifiers in place at the time, so EVs, IVs, and even boosts or drops from moves like Dragon Dance or Calm Mind or an ability like Intimidate will also be copied. This leads us to the strategy of using Ditto as a setup counter Pokemon and or a revenge killer. Imagine, if you will, that your opponent has a setup Pokemon on the field, and we'll use for this example, let's say a weakness policy Dragonite. So he has managed to get a Dragon Dance off, maybe the weakness policy has also procced and so he has more boosts, and he has a lot of boosted stats and is threatening to sweep you with this Pokemon. So, well, once one of your Pokemon faints or you predict your opponent to go for more setup, you can get a swap in with your Ditto, copy his Dragonite, steal, well, not steal, but gain all of those stats so you have an equivalently set up Dragonite on your side of the field. And at this point in the game, you have a 50% chance of winning or losing based upon how the game decides to award the speed tie, because you will have an identical speed stat to the Dragonite that you copied, so there's a 50-50 chance of you going first or not. Now, this can be countered on Ditto by giving it a choice scarf. That means you bring it in, it's guaranteed to outspeed, you gain all of the stats your opponent also has, and then you simply choose whatever move you feel would be best to be locked into. So, like most choice item users, Ditto likes to have one or two defensive partner Pokemon, which allow you to swap in and take hits that Ditto can't, or if Ditto gets walled out because your opponent obviously knows the set that you've got and knows which move you are locked into, and therefore it's nice to have some defensive Pokemon that allow Ditto the option to reset, to come back in later on and copy another Pokemon later on in the match. So keep in mind that there are a small number of players who, instead of using Choice Scarf, actually use a Life Orb on the Ditto. The reason being that Choice Scarf on Ditto is so common that everyone expects to be outsped by the Ditto that they are facing, and so they swap out into something that has a chance of handling it. Putting a Life Orb on the Ditto at that point means that you can get some incredible damage on the switch, you are not locked into your moves, and it doesn't become obvious to your opponent until, well, one or two turns in when you start changing moves on them. So, it's a little bit riskier. You do risk the speed tie if you do stay in on your opponent that way, but it really is based on the presumption that your opponent will swap out thinking you've got the Choice Scarf. And that's really all there is to Ditto. It's pretty darn simple, a revenge killer with a Choice Scarf that doubles up as a counter to set up Pokemon as well. So if you are interested in getting one for battle or for breeding purposes, please feel free to click the link on the screen annotation here in order to jump over to a giveaway video where I'll be giving out 106 IV shiny Dittos with Choice Scarves across the spectrum of games X, Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha, Sapphire, Sun, and Moon. And if you are so interested, I will have links to all featured artwork for Ditto in the description down below, so you can go have a look at the artists that have done some incredible stuff. So, thank you as always for watching. I will see you later on for more seldom seen giveaways and guide videos. And yeah, feel free to click the like or dislike and maybe subscribe if you liked what you saw. All the best, folks. See you later. This is Blue Triceratops signing out. Bye bye.